Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're taking a really close look at a core concept in practice energy, virya.
Virya, V-E-R-Y-A.
Yeah.
Yes. And specifically, we're digging into some material from the teacher, Sayadaw Nyanavudha.
That's Sayadaw Nyanavudha.
All right.
From a pretty recent talk, April 29th, 2025.
Exactly. And the focus is really on 4 distinct types of effort he outlined.
So our goal for this deep dive is to understand why this energy is so critical, how the Sayadaw explains we develop it.
And really break down these 4 types of effort. Make it clear what they are, how they actually function when you're practicing.
Yeah, there's a powerful insight in how they all work together. Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good. So the Sayadaw actually mentioned in a previous discussion these levels of energy, initial uplifting, culminating.
Right, I remember that.
But the focus today from this particular talk, it shifts more to how you actually build up strong energy and why it's so important for dealing with, challenges.
Especially those unpleasing sensations he talks about.
Exactly those. And he used quite a vivid analogy.
The boxing match one.
Yes, the boxing match. He compared overcoming an unpleasant sensation to, beating an opponent in the ring.
Okay.
Each time you manage it, you successfully navigate that feeling, it builds confidence. Like, oh, okay, you did it. You can handle that.
And that confidence, that then helps the next time around.
Precisely. The Sayadaw stressed that this confidence then fuels more success.
Yeah.
But it's not just confidence, right? It's also the skill.
Skill.
Yeah, the skill you develop by repeatedly facing those tough moments. You just get better at dealing with them because you've practiced.
So strong energy is really fundamental for handling all kinds of discomfort. But the million-dollar question for anyone practicing is, how do you actually build that energy?
And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The best way, according to the teacher, is simply through applying energy itself, over and over.
Applying energy builds energy.
That's the idea. He put it quite specifically. Every preceding energy is the nearest cause for succeeding energy.
Wow, that's a key principle. So energy kind of builds on itself, like momentum.
Exactly like momentum. It means you need unbroken energy, continuous application moment after moment.
Okay, give me an example, like in sitting.
Sure. Think about observing rising and falling. You apply that initial energy, that launching energy, to note rising. Then immediately you apply it again to note falling.
Right.
If you can keep applying that launching energy continuously with no real gap between the objects you're noting, then the energy gets stronger.
And why is that continuity, that lack of a gap, so important?
Well, the Sayadaw explained that if there is a gap, the next bit of energy doesn't get that immediate support from the one just before it.
Okay.
That unbroken flow provides the link, strengthens the whole chain, and there's another payoff he mentioned. This continuity makes it easier to catch wandering thoughts.
Oh, really?
Well, if you're observing continuously, you can notice almost instantly when the mind drifts off. He even said you might detect the intention to think, like right before the thought actually bubbles up.
Wow. So maintaining that unbroken mindfulness, which is really applying this unbroken energy right from the start of a sit, especially on your main object like rising, falling, that's the foundation.
That's the bedrock, yes.
Did the teacher offer any practical tips on how this helps specifically with those unpleasing sensations when they pop up?
He did, yeah. He suggested that one really good way to prepare yourself is by observing rising and falling really meticulously before the tough sensation arises.
So kind of preloading the energy.
Kind of, yeah. That continuous, careful observation builds up the strength, the capacity that helps you absorb or handle the sensation more easily when it does show up later.
And this continuous energy, it's not just for formal meditation, right? Not just sitting or walking.
Oh, absolutely not. The Sayadaw was very clear. It extends through the whole day. Observing intentions, the intention to open your eyes or move your hand, then observing the small actions that follow, opening, looking, seeing, reaching, touching.
All those little moments.
Every single one. In walking meditation, too. He emphasized every single step counts, whether you're in the meditation hall or just, walking to the bathroom or back to your room.
Every step.
Yeah.
Lifting, moving, dropping.
Lifting, moving, dropping. Each part is an application of energy.
So the goal is really this. Continuous, meticulous application of energy.
Right.
From morning till night.
That's the aim. And the Sayadaw stated that, according to the Buddha in the main text, this continuous practice is the very best way to make your energy stronger, day by day.
Okay. And he also stressed applying it sufficiently, right? Not just continuously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sufficiently. He pointed out that often in just regular daily activities outside the formal practice times, people can get a bit careless.
Careless.
Yeah, they apply less energy. He actually called it disrespect in practice.
Disrespect in practice. That's quite strong. What did he mean by that?
He meant not treating the practice seriously enough in those everyday moments, approaching it casually. Instead of approaching all activities, even mundane ones, in a reverential manner, applying strong energy because, as he put it, every moment or every noting plays a very important role in order to purify of our mind.
So every mindful moment, no matter how small, is seen as crucial for purification.
Exactly. It reframes the whole day.
It does. Did he give any other practical ways to build this strong energy? Maybe something about, like, speed?
Yes, he did offer another tip. He advised trying to do things more slowly.
Slower.
Maybe slower than you did yesterday and even slower the next day. There's a principle he taught. The slower you perform activities mindfully, the faster your practice actually progresses.
Slower is faster. That sounds counterintuitive.
It does, but the idea is that doing things slowly helps you maintain that continuous, strong energy more easily. It makes the energy itself stronger.
Fascinating. Okay, so we've established this foundation. Building virya, V-E-E, through continuous, meticulous, sufficient, and even slower application of energy. Now, let's get into how the teacher breaks down this energy based on what it does.
Right. He categorizes it by function into these 4 types called the 4 exhaustions or efforts. In Pali, that's Chatusapadana, Chatusapadiyajna.
Chatusapadana. 4 functions of energy. What's the first one?
The first is the energy for preventing unwholesomenesses, those defilements, or kilesa, that haven't actually arisen yet.
Preventing the bad stuff before it starts.
Pretty much. It's the energy applied in order to not do something unwholesome. But, and this is key, the Sayadaw emphasized, it's not just preventing bad things in general.
No,
it's specifically preventing the unwholesomeness that's about to arise in relation to the object right now, the present object.
Okay, can you give an example from the talk again? That helps.
Sure. The sitting meditation one is clear. Someone makes noise nearby. If you don't manage to note hearing, then anger tends to arise. And that specific anger directed at that specific person making that noise in that moment, that particular instance hasn't arisen before.
Okay, I get it. It's very specific, like seeing some really delicious food. A specific kind of greed might pop up related just to that food right now, which hadn't existed before.
Exactly. Or maybe there's no delicious food, and then a specific kind of anger or disappointment might arise, again, new in that moment.
Or the unpleasant sensation in sitting. If you don't apply energy to observe pain or whatever it is, then frustration or aversion are likely to arise.
Yeah.
Specific to that sensation now.
Precisely. So by applying energy, by just observing the object that's presently arising, whether it's the breath, a thought, the pain, a sound, a movement, you are actively preventing these potential new, specific unwholesomenesses from taking root. Prevention is the function here.
Got it. Function 1, prevention. What's the second type of effort?
The second function is the energy used for dispelling unwholesomenesses that, have already popped up.
So if prevention didn't quite work or you missed it?
Yeah. If, by chance, some impurity, greed, anger, doubt, restlessness actually does arise during your practice, you then apply energy specifically to note that state itself.
Just note it directly, like anger, or thinking.
Exactly. And the Sayadaw explained that this act of noting it, labeling it mindfully, has the function of dispelling it. Immediately, instantly.
So the noting itself gets rid of it.
That's the dispelling function of this effort, yes.
Okay. Prevent the new bad, dispel the existing bad. What's the third function? Is it about good things?
It is. The third function is generating wholesomenesses that haven't arisen yet, because practice isn't just about avoiding or getting rid of the negative.
Right, you're actively cultivating the positive too.
You are. You're generating positive mental factors, wholesome states. And again, like the unwholesome side, this is about the specific present moment.
So when I note rising, I'm generating a new instance of mindfulness right then.
Exactly. That specific moment of mindfulness directed at that specific rising has never arisen before in quite that way. Then you note falling and apply energy again. That's another new instance of mindfulness.
So every single noting generates a fresh moment of mindfulness or concentration or wisdom.
Correct. These specific wholesome states haven't arisen in this particular way in this specific moment before. energy's function here is generation.
And the energy itself, the virya you're applying, is that considered wholesome?
Oh, definitely. The Sayadaw drew a clear line there. The energy used for unwholesome actions, harming, stealing, lying, that's unwholesome energy driven by wrong view or defilements.
Makes sense.
But the energy you use for good things like giving dana, keeping precepts, and very much so in meditation practice, that energy is wholesome energy.
So the effort itself is building wholesome energy.
Yes. The energy you apply is generating wholesome energy, and it's also generating mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, maybe faith, moral fear, moral shame, all sorts of positive factors that weren't present in that specific configuration just before.
And the Sayadaw even mentioned this, generating future knowledge.
He did. He said this energy generates the potential for future path and fruition knowledge, or at least the preliminary knowledges leading up to them. So energy generates the new wholesome.
Okay. Preventing the new unwholesome, dispelling the existing unwholesome, generating the new wholesome. What's left? What's the fourth type?
The fourth function is about sustaining, developing, cultivating, and ultimately fulfilling the wholesomenesses that have already arisen.
Already arisen. You mean like wholesome states from yesterday?
And not just yesterday, but even moments, or like a second ago. It's much more immediate than that.
Ah, okay. So the mindfulness from the last moment of noting.
Exactly that. Think about it. You note rising, mindfulness is there. Then you immediately note falling. You apply energy again, mindfulness arises again.
Right.
The energy applied for that second noting, the falling, has the function of sustaining and cultivating the mindfulness that arose with the rising. The second application supports the first.
So each moment of effort props up and builds on the wholesome quality from the moment right before it.
Precisely. In this way, the energy applied moment after moment actively sustains, cultivates, and develops the wholesome factors that have already come into being, helping them grow stronger and leading them toward fulfillment or maturation.
Wow, okay. Sustaining and developing the existing good. So these four distinct functions. Preventing bad, dispelling bad, generating good, sustaining good. What did the Sayadaw say happens when we put them all together in practice?
Well, this is the part that I found really quite profound when he explained it.
Yeah.
He stated very clearly that in every single act of noting, every time you mindfully observe a presently arising object, you are performing all four of these functions of energy simultaneously.
All four at the exact same time, just by noting rising.
Yes. In that single moment of observation, you are preventing potential unwholesomeness tied to that moment from arising. You are dispelling any flicker of unwholesomeness that might have just arisen. You are generating a brand new present instance of wholesomeness, like that specific moment of mindfulness, concentration, and wholesome energy itself. And D, you are sustaining and cultivating the wholesome qualities developed just moments before.
Wow, okay. That definitely changes how you think about each noting. It's not just one thing happening. It's like a 4-in-1 deal.
Exactly. It's not a sequence like first I prevent, then I generate. No. All four happening at once. And this, the Sayadaw explained, shows just how incredibly beneficial and, well, powerful this energy, virya, V-E-R-Y-A, really is.
It explains why he called it the leader in practice.
Absolutely. He stressed that without sufficient, strong, continuous energy, none of the other key factors, mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, can really develop properly. And dealing with those difficult sensations becomes almost impossible.
So applying strong, sufficient, continuous energy? That's really the absolute key, according to the Sayadaw, for purifying the mind and actually achieving the goals of the practice.
That's the message. May you, the listener, be able to apply strong, sufficient energy in your practice. May you prevent the unwholesomenesses that haven't arisen, dispel those that have, generate the wholesomenesses that haven't arisen yet, and cultivate and fulfill those wholesome states that have already arisen.
This deep dive into the four types of effort, the Chatusapadana, Chatusapada ihnu, as the teacher Sayadaw Nyanavudha described them, it really highlights how energy, virya, V-E-R-Y-A, isn't just some vague force. It has these very specific, simultaneous, and quite powerful functions in the work of purifying our minds.
And understanding these functions, really grasping them, it can potentially shift how you approach the effort you put into observation, whether it's on the cushion or just, washing the dishes.
It really could. And it leaves us with a pretty significant question to ponder, doesn't it?
Which,
well, if every single moment of mindful observation carries all four of these efforts working together, what does that truly imply about the cumulative, maybe even exponential, power of maintaining that continuous, unbroken energy the Sayadaw emphasized so much?
Indeed. Something to definitely consider as you continue your own exploration.